hello, how are you all this fine day? I hope that if you're here, you subscribe to this channel if you're not already, and you check out everything that is down below. You can get an email, newsletter, the social media, all that fun stuff. So, if you couldn't tell by my slightly changed surroundings, like that stuff over here, I am moving from where I am right now, and that brings up the great dilemma that is change and how to accept change and roll with the punches, as they say. And it's funny when I talk about this and I think about how difficult it is for autistic people and neurotypical people in different ways really struggle with change and all that kind of entails, wrapping your head around it. Because there are a lot of ways where I'm quite accepting of change, but the change that I'm okay with is change that is on my terms and I already feel in control of, in a way. For example, if I want to change up my routine for some reason, it's cool with me when I'm the one changing it, but if it's not pre-planned, if it's on someone else's terms, that's when the anxiety happens and the freaking out of different ways, however you experience that. This move is on my terms, so to an extent that is cool and dandy, but I'm doing it on my own completely. I'm having to pack up everything when I'm not good at packing. And it comes with different challenges. So to that extent, I'm still feeling that anxiety looming. And in a rational sense, you can see change and you're like, yeah, I mean, the only constant we have is change. And insert a cliche quote here because we're always changing, we're always growing. But actually wrapping your head around it is a completely different can of worms to open and look through and get anxious about. I could give some cliche advice here about, just accept it, be okay with it. Chill out, man. You've heard it all probably. If you're anxious, you're autistic, neurodiverse, you name it, you've probably heard it. But it's about finding your own rhythm and time when it comes to change. In a lot of cases, you don't really have that time to prepare in a way, and you have to make really quick decisions because that's kind of what people expect from the neurotypical society we live in. So I can't step in your shoes and necessarily do all the things for you. But if you do have the time, take the time. It is so okay that it takes you longer than others to adapt and fully embrace something different. That was a huge challenge for me in college, and when I've traveled, really in any way that I've been in a different situation with different people, and everybody seems like they're immediately finding their place and building the relationships, feeling like they're in this community, they're integrated. Yeah, it takes 10 times longer for me, in my experience, to do that than everyone else. So it's about knowing yourself, and when you're having to make the quick changes in a day, taking that time you need to recuperate, because that takes a lot of energy and willpower to do. And kudos for you if you have done it, you are doing it, and it's okay if you can't do it. But when it's in your willpower to make that known and be your own self-advocate, that's just more power to you, and it helps others be aware, and it also holds people accountable to some extent if they already know that you don't like change, and here's like a step-by-step way for how to take on something new. Then it's not all on you, because that's just how society is. I feel like a lot of what I talk about goes back to the same core tenets, but it's true that I'm in this process, you're probably in this process of learning how to express what you need and advocate for yourself, because a lot of the times nobody's going to do it for you because people don't get it. And until people get it, until they're accepting, you just have to embrace what you can control and enjoy that and set those expectations for yourself. This has been really important to me, is going into something being in control with the fact that you have this really open mentality, and you're going into something fully knowing that something is going to change. And in that sense, you are preparing, and you are having that sense of, I'm in control of the fact that something is going to change, if that makes sense, hopefully. But that's been really good for me in terms of not planning too far ahead, especially with all of life as it is right now, and just going into different experiences and opportunities, not putting too much of that fantasy kind of stuff where you're imagining all of the little details, and you know how it could exactly play out, and you could play all the roles and just create a whole different scenario for yourself than what it probably actually is, and just kind of creating more anxiety for yourself than is necessary. So, final key takeaway messages here. Feel in control with the fact that everything could possibly change. Control what you can, and in those times where you're having to take on a lot of change at once, try and give yourself that time and that space to really embrace it. And just that self-care, man, is really important. And it's so okay, whatever timing is good for you, to embrace and take on something different. It's just the fact that you are in the first place is like a round of applause. And if you can't do that right now, that is okay. I think we've all dealt with a lot of change right now, so you're probably picking up what I'm laying down, hopefully. So with that, thank you so much for being here, for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting up there. Help me reach like 500. That'd be cool. Check out everything that's down below, and so many blessings to you on this fine day. So I will see you all next time.